What's up, everybody? This is Ellis Burks with the Truth Project. Today, y'all, I'd like to talk about white supremacy, or at least I want to give my view or just some insight on white supremacy. White supremacy is so embedded, it's so ingrained in the foundation of this country, and it's such a dominating, conquering spirit that if we don't continually expose this ideology, it will quietly destroy people of color and specifically Black people. It is a very divisive ideology. See, they really see Black people of color as an inferior people that would destroy this country if not under the dominance or control of whites. Now, they won't openly say this, but it is what they believe. And if this ideology is allowed to continue operating in the shadows of darkness, we don't have a chance of even, accomplishing what our desire is to accomplish. Because it's very difficult to stand against something that you really can't see. So my hope is that we will awaken some and remind others of the ongoing fight we have against white supremacy. Now, white supremacy is an ideology or belief that the white race is created superior to other races, specifically, again, races of color, and specifically Black people. White supremacists believe God created them with this advantage and ordained them to maintain their position of dominance. I think that's real important for us to understand. And this they would do by any means possible. I know when we say, back in the day, when we said by any means possible, those guys became terrorists. But when they say by any means possible, y'all need to understand what I'm saying. By any means necessary. What we see as violent, venomous hatred, they see as justifiable and necessary behavior to maintain their God-given position of dominance. It's very important for us to understand this. Now, this ideology is the primary producer of hate groups like the KKK, neo-Nazis, neo-Confederism, and recently, I'm sure you guys have heard about even the Proud Boys. It also, is what plagues our country when it comes to systemic racism, inequality, police brutality, and voter suppression. I wanted to put that in there real quickly. This dominating, conquering ideology, and that's exactly what it is. It's a dominating, conquering ideology that is the mentality that fuels the hatred and division. Let me say that again. This dominating and conquering ideology is the mentality that fuels the hatred and division that always results in the continued oppression of Black people. I want y'all to understand that. Now, how they're able to really accomplish this, at least one of the ways, is the Constitution. What the Constitution is one of their pillars, but what it does is guarantee their position of dominance. The Constitution allows them to move the goalposts anytime the inequality gaps are being bridged. Now, we must understand the ideal of us, of Black people, being equal with them or them accepting us as their equal, and their way of thinking is totally against God's plan. And their way of thinking, like I'm saying, will never happen. They'd rather die or they'd rather kill than to see this country taken over for the cause of equality. They look at it this way. They look at either as white supremacy or as Black supremacy. There is no in between. Either they dominate us or we dominate them. They don't see equality. They don't see races being able to work together. They're really not able to see that. Now, whenever the Constitution doesn't work as designed and there's a real threat of them losing control of Congress, white supremacists usually send out their dog whistles or they begin to speak cold words to alert and engage their militant militia branch. These are those we talked about earlier, the KKK and those guys. Now, these guys take great joy in advancing hate and fear by using intimidation and extreme violent behaviors. These hate groups have a long history of violently terrorizing our communities, killing millions of people of color with no regrets, no hesitations, or no repentance. Now, some examples of these, what I call crimes against humanity, we'll list a lot of them, but what I want to just point out right now is the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, when Black people were really advancing and were doing what we're very capable of doing, and white supremacists got very upset about the about black people advancing, and they went in and killed a whole lot of those black people. Another time that they really did the same thing is the Detroit riots of 1943. White supremacists got real upset because black people were working and doing things that we traditionally do. And they just went into the black neighborhood and just started killing, beating, and just really attacked these black people. You have the same thing happen in the Wilmington Massacre, where black people are doing what we're capable of doing, and white people just get upset about that, or white supremacists. And they came in and killed, destroyed women, children, black men. And I'm just pointing out these three, but the list goes on and on and on. We can list some, but we can't list enough of these atrocities. And I do believe that the list that we're leaving, I'm hopeful that you guys will study it, know it, and just never forget these atrocities. These folks, as I said before, and I'll say again, these were crimes against humanity. Now, voter suppression is another one of those very strong pillars that white supremacists like to use. They use it to maintain their position of dominance. And that's why I do believe that one of the things that we really did gain from the Civil War was the right to vote. And though I see it as a victory for us, or a gift from God, they see it as the biggest mistake they ever made. And it was such a mistake, and they were so upset about that happening, that they were actually willing to kill one of their own. They were willing to kill Abraham Lincoln. And because they really do know that in order to maintain their dominance, they have to control voting. You know, they have to be able to, because with voting, they're able to determine the policies, they're able to determine the laws, and they're able to determine how they're enforced. You know, so voting is a big deal for them. Now, they knew President Johnson was a sympathizer to their ideology, and he was willing to roll back all those policies that Abraham Lincoln had put in place. So killing the president to white supremacists was A-okay. They had no problems with it. They was willing to do it because Abraham Lincoln was expendable to advance the cause of white supremacy. Now, they may not never say anything like that, but this is just the truth. All right, y'all, if y'all didn't get anything else from this message, what I hope you did get is it's important for us to vote. It's important for us to vote against, white supremacy. And I'm hopeful that this will be one of those times, especially coming in on the 5th of January, that we, especially here in Georgia, really got to get out and take advantage of our rights to vote. This is Ellis Burks with the Truth Project. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, we need you guys to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, know your history. Peace.